Today on the cutting board, there are premium and affordable fixed blade knives. And the premium knife is Norwegian made Helle Jagermester 42. And the budget knife is Ontario knife Old Hickory, made in the United States. The Ontario knife came in this blister pack and it did not have a sheath. So the same store where I bought the knife sold me this Mexican-made sheath made out of genuine leather for $9. So the total price for these two items was $22 because this knife was $13. It's an incredible price for an American-made product. This knife came with a leather sheath and very fancy packaging. Here's the packaging. This knife retails for $154 US. Neither of the manufacturers specified the steel. However, the Helle knife says that it has a core of hard steel and the exterior of the softer, more stainless steel. The Ontario knife packaging states that its Rockwell hardness is 57 to 59. So I presume this is a 1095 carbon steel. Since I haven't sharpened these blades, now is a good time to do a paper cut test. I feel a little bit of a toothiness on this edge, yet it cuts through this not very premium paper pretty well. Let's see how the Ontario will do. An Ontario knife was able to cut through the paper, however the edge is more jagged and I'm getting small tears. Definitely. Now I'm going to slice this radish with a Helle knife. And the other half of this radish with Ontario knife. I have a feeling that the Ontario knife keeps trying to walk away from the straight down cut, while Helle performed very well. And now I'm going to use the belly swivel cut to process one more radish. And as you can see, Helle knife performed admirably. And now for the Old Hickory. That additional belly, for some reason, it's making it harder for me, perhaps because the grip is farther away from it. And now that I cut enough radishes, I'm gonna process this Argentinian sausage using both knives to complete my healthy meal. Again, the Scandinavian knife performed well. There's some resistance due to the thickness of the blade. The American-made knife has a much thinner blade, approximately 40% thinner blade. And due to poor sharpening, it's a little harder to push it through. Or maybe it's the blade width. And now I'm going to stroke those two knives using my homemade stropping block. I'm going to give it 10 passes on each side. If you do it right, you don't need to sort of converge the number of passes. This is a little harder to do it due to this sort of machete-ish blade shape. And I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it's leaving sort of scratch marks from how toothy this edge was. Okay, so this is all I did. 10 passes on each side. I'll give it a little wipe. And now I'm going to cut a potato. starting with a Scandinavian knife. I don't know if potato is softer than the radish, but it's slicing through quite well. And now for the Ontario. Much improved performance here. There's a little less wobble. I do feel like this blade is too long for my medium-sized hand. Give it another quick wipe, and let's do another paper cut test. First the color. Ooh, yes, those 10 passes on each side did the trick for this knife. Absolutely no drag. There's some improvement in this blade, but it will require some work. I'm actually looking forward to it because I like sharpening my knives, as evidenced by this band-aid on my finger. And now as my potato is frying, I'm gonna process this apple. And I've been wanting to do this all night long. That felt very satisfying. One more time. Yes, this knife is a chopper. I guess, just to be fair, we gotta try it with the Norway. Well, that worked well. And now I'm going to do some apple slicing. Yeah, definitely tries to chip it up. This is not the sliciest blade, but a great chopper just the same. Let's try with this one. Yes, so my impression is that because the blade is so much thinner, you can see there's a flat grind with a pretty wide bevel, edge bevel on this knife. It cuts a little slice here. And this knife has a true Scandinavian grind without secondary bevel. So here are the results of my test. A slightly damaged cutting board, a tiny bit of a rolled edge where it probably struck the granite. Nothing happened to this knife. And I got myself a delicious Scandinavian style meal with a light dessert. The scales came slightly loose on the old Hickory, and as I mentioned earlier, the edge rolled just very slightly on the Helle. And now let's store the knives. One goes in the kitchen, the other one in the drawer with the outdoor knives. I enjoyed making this video, looking forward to all 30 viewers and 1 subscriber.